Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope that everything is going well for you. Well, on this opportunity, we will learn about how to handle the meeting. You, if you are as a chairman in a company, you need to master, you need to be able to handle the meeting because it is very important skill that everyone needs to master it. So everyone, here in the first part, you will learn how to make the meeting more effective. So there will be 3 points that we will learn today. The first one is what makes a good meeting. And the second one, you are expected to be able to how to chair a meeting. And the third one is you are able to establish the purpose of the meeting. Jadi di meeting ini setidaknya kalian nanti diharapkan untuk menguasai 3 poin ini. Yang pertama adalah kalian tahu apa sih sebenarnya yang membuat meeting itu berhasil. Yang kedua adalah kalian bisa mengetahui atau setidaknya bisa menghandle sebuah meeting atau memimpin sebuah meeting. Dan yang ketiga yaitu establish atau membuat tujuan daripada sebuah meeting. Okay, well, we start from the first one, namely what makes a good meeting. You will study or you will learn from this listening comprehension. So after listening this recording, you will try to analyze what Alan Case, he is an engineer and he is talking about the characteristic of successful business meetings. Jadi dia nanti akan menyampaikan 5 hal ya daripada 8 yang ada di depan kalian. Nanti kalian harus bisa mengidentifikasi 5 hal tersebut. Namely you give a checklist ya. So you prepare a piece of paper and a pen and listen to the recording of Alan Case and then you make note or make list. Okay everyone, here it is the recording.
Case talking about the characteristics of a successful business meeting. Identify the correct order of the 5 points he makes.
What do you see as the most important characteristics of a successful meeting?
I think it's important that everyone is well prepared. Certainly everyone should prepare for the meeting, which is possible in all cases, except emergency meetings when there's no time for much preparation. A second point is that in every case, people should understand the objectives of the meeting. Also, the role of the chair is important. The chair should do a good job, keep control and keep the meeting focused on the objectives. That means the meeting reaches its aims.
And what about the timing of the meeting?
Yes, I agree. The meeting should keep to the timing. Start and finish on time. That's also important.
Well everyone, if you have already finished, make a list about 5 of the 8 points below. Now try to compare your answer with the key answer we have already provided. So based on the recording of Alan Case, there are 5 things that should be in a business meeting. Those 5 characteristics are good preparation. It means that when you want to start the meeting, you need to prepare all the things needed in the meeting. The second one, you need to have or state the clear objectives. Jadi kalian harus bisa memberikan tujuan yang jelas, tujuan diadakannya rapat itu untuk apa, dan pastikan bahwa semua orang itu tahu. And the next is good chair. Good chair means that you need to arrange the chair well in order to be able to control your people, your subordinates more effective. Jadi posisi kursi itu sangat penting sekali sehingga kalian bisa mengontrol dengan efektif rekan-rekan kalian atau para peserta rapat. And the next is reaching the objective. So after you have already decided the objectives of the meeting, you need to reach your objectives. Jadi pastikan tujuan daripada rapat kalian itu tercapai. Tujuan dari diadakannya rapat itu untuk apa? Misalkan poinnya 1, 2, 3 membahas A, B, C. Nah, A, B, C itu harus kalian capai itu tujuannya, ya. Kalian diskusikan di situ, jangan sampai ada yang tertinggal karena objektif atau tujuan yang tidak fokus atau membahas yang lainnya. And the last one, just respect for the time available or time planning. Jadi kalau misalkan rapatnya itu sekitar makan waktu sekitar 1 jam atau 1 jam setengah atau 2 jam, jadi pastikan kalian bisa manage waktunya dengan benar. Yeah, so everyone, those are 5 characteristics of successful business meeting delivered by Alan Case. Okay, now the second skill you need to master is how to chair a meeting. Bagaimana memimpin sebuah rapat. Nah, di sini ada beberapa keahlian yang perlu kalian kuasai. As usual, ya, kalian nanti akan belajar dari listening comprehension. Kalian akan menganalisa sendiri kira-kira apa saja sih skill yang dibutuhkan untuk memimpin sebuah rapat. There are 2 recordings. Jadi yang recording yang pertama ini masih warming up, ya, belum membahas tentang bagaimana cara manage atau menghandle sebuah rapat. Tapi di sini this recording talking about or discuss about the decline in profits. Jadi kenapa ada penurunan dalam pendapatan atau keuntungannya itu menurun. Nah, kalian harus bisa menganalisa kira-kira apa saja sih poin-poinnya kenapa pendapatan perusahaan itu bisa menurun. Nah, seperti biasa, try to listen carefully the recording of a meeting at a high-low corporation, and then after that, you make a note or try to make a list. Coba kalian contreng mana saja kira-kira yang sesuai dengan recording yang kalian dengar. Okay, are you ready? Okay, here it is, the recording.
Listen to a meeting of the Hilo company discussing a decline in profits.
Okay, I think we should start now. It's 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Right, fine. Well, we're here today to look at some of the reasons for the decline in profits which has affected this subsidiary. You've all seen the agenda. I'd like to ask if anyone has any comments on it before we start.
No, that's fine.
Right. Well, can I ask Sam Canning, Chief Sales Executive, to open up with his remarks?
Thank you, Bernard. Well, I think we have to face up to several realities, and what I have to say is in 3 parts, and will take about 20 minutes.
Sam, we don't have much time. It's really your main points we're most interested in.
Yes, can I ask one thing, Mr. Chairman? Isn't this a global problem in our market?
Sorry, Jane, I can't allow us to consider that question just yet. We'll look at the global question later. Sam, sorry, please carry on.
Well, the 3 points I want to make can be made in 3 sentences. First, sales are down, but only by 5% more than for the group as a whole. Secondly, our budget for sales has been kept static. It hasn't increased, not even with inflation. So, we're trying to do better than last year on less money. Third,
That's not exactly true.
Jane, please, let Sam finish.
thirdly, the products are getting old. We need a new generation.
So, let me summarise that. You say that sales are down, but not by so much, that you've had less money to promote sales, and that the products are old. Is that right?
In a nutshell.
Does anyone have anything to add to that?
Well, on the question of funding, I have to disagree.
Now we will compare your answer with the answer key. Nah, coba sekarang kalian bandingkan apa yang sudah kalian dengarkan barusan. Jawabannya sekarang kita bandingkan ya. Okay, so what makes the decline in profits of the company? The first one is prices are too high. Is it correct? Yeah, nope. What about the company has wasted money on research and development? Also no. Sales are down? Yes. What about the sales budget? Is too low? Yeah, yes. And no one likes the cheap sales executive? Nope. And the last one, the products are old? Yes. So there are three things that makes the decline in profits of the company. I hope your answers are correct. Now everyone, we will move to the next activities. So you will listen again, the recording, and then just pay attention to the role of the chair in the person, and then think which of the following function the chair performs at this meeting. Okay.
Listen to a meeting of the Hilo company discussing a decline in profits.
Okay, I think we should start now. It's 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Right.
Fine.
Well, we're here today to look at some of the reasons for the decline in profits which has affected this subsidiary. You've all seen the agenda. I'd like to ask if anyone has any comments on it before we start.
No, that's fine.
Right. Well, can I ask Sam Canning, Chief Sales Executive, to open up with his remarks?
Thank you, Bernard. Well, I think we have to face up to several realities, and what I have to say is in 3 parts, and will take about 20 minutes.
Sam, we don't have much time. It's really your main points we're most interested in.
Yes, can I ask one thing, Mr. Chairman? Isn't this a global problem in our market?
Sorry, Jane, I can't allow us to consider that question just yet. We'll look at the global question later. Sam, sorry, please carry on.
Well, the 3 points I want to make can be made in 3 sentences. First, sales are down, but only by 5% more than for the group as a whole. Secondly, our budget for sales has been kept static. It hasn't increased, not even with inflation. So, we're trying to do better than last year on less money. Third,
That's not exactly true.
Jane, please, let Sam finish.
thirdly, the products are getting old. We need a new generation.
So, let me summarise that. You say that sales are down, but not by so much, that you've had less money to promote sales, and that the products are old. Is that right?
In a nutshell.
Does anyone have anything to add to that?
Well, on the question of funding, I have to disagree.
Yeah, well, students, now we will compare your answer with the answer key. Let us start. So, you will analyze the recording, whether the statement are correct or not, or you just choose what is it, the correct statement. So from this statement, what do you think is correct? Okay, so the first one is if you listen carefully with the recording, you will listen the chairman. He tried to prevent the women to interrupt the Sam, right? Okay, and the second one, start the meeting on time. Ya, seperti yang kita ketahui tadi mulainya pukul 10 ya, kalau tidak salah, jadi sudah on time. And then the next is states the objectives, yaitu dia menyatakan tujuan daripada rapat itu untuk apa. And the next is reverse to the agenda. Ya, ketika dia ada pertanyaan dari si wanita, ini tidak diizinkan ya, karena agendanya adalah A, untuk menyelesaikan masalah A. Nah, sehingga di sini si chairman ini dia merujuk pada agenda terlebih dahulu, baru nanti masalah yang lainnya. Okay, and the next is summarizes. Sure, ya, jadi dia meringkas sebenarnya apa yang membuat decline of the profits, yang membuat penurunan pada profitnya itu apa. And the next is ask for comments, yaitu meminta komen daripada yang lain. So everyone, the last one is introduces the first speaker also. Okay, those are things that should the chairman, the role of the chairman in the meeting. So everyone, This list may be delivered by the chairman, but not all. Jadi semua list ini bisa saja ya dilakukan oleh si chairman. Akan tetapi ya dalam beberapa meeting itu tidak harus seperti itu saklek. Jadi intinya ada beberapa hal yang mungkin disampaikan atau yang tidak disampaikan. Yeah, well, everyone, after listening the recordings and then you have already learned how to analyze them, now it is time for you to practice. Can you give me the example of the phrases which could be used by a chairperson in the following situation in a meeting? Nah, coba dong kalian berikan contoh bagaimana sih seorang chairperson atau pemimpin rapat ini dia memimpin rapat untuk beberapa situasi seperti bagaimana cara how to welcome the participant to a meeting, bagaimana cara dia menyambut partisipan dalam sebuah rapat atau para peserta rapat, and then to state the objectives of the meeting, yaitu untuk menyatakan tujuan daripada rapat, to introduce the agenda, agendanya apa saja, to introduce the first speaker, bagaimana cara memperkenalkan pembicara pertama, to prevent an interruption, bagaimana cara dia untuk prevent, mencegah adanya interruption atau interupsi dari peserta yang lain ketika ada speaker berbicara, to thank a speaker for his or her contribution. Nah, bagaimana cara si chairperson ini dia berterima kasih kepada si pembicara ya atas kontribusinya. And then to introduce another speaker, bagaimana caranya memperkenalkan pembicara yang lain, kalau ada pembicara kedua, ketiga, dan lain sebagainya. And the next, to keep discussion to the relevant issues, gimana caranya supaya diskusinya tetap relevan dengan permasalahan. To summarize the discussion, bagaimana cara untuk meringkas sebuah diskusi dari awal sampai akhir. To ask if anyone has anything to add, ya, juga bagaimana caranya untuk meminta seseorang atau peserta rapat kalau ada yang mau menambahkan. To suggest moving to the next topic on agenda, bagaimana caranya untuk moving atau berpindah ya dari agenda pertama ke agenda yang berikutnya. Yang selanjutnya ada to summarize certain action that must be done following the meeting. For example, like do research, write a report, meet again, write a letter, etc. Dan yang terakhir to close the meeting atau untuk menutup rapat. Nah, bisa nggak kira-kira? Atau mungkin kalian bisa browsing terlebih dahulu, setelah itu kalian bisa mencatat dan kita nanti akan lihat hasilnya atau kita bisa mengcompare ya dengan yang sudah saya sediakan. Silakan kalian pause dulu ya, kalian latihan. Yeah, well everyone, now try to compare your answer with the answer that I have already provided. So to welcome the participant to a meeting, a chairperson can say, "Welcome everybody, thank you for coming." Nah, kalian bisa mengucapkan itu. How to state the objectives of the meeting? We are here to talk about bla 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 bla. Ya, misalkan untuk membicarakan kayak tadi kenapa terjadi penurunan pada profit. Okay, we are here today to talk about the reason why there is a decline in the profits of a company, just like that. And then the next to introduce the agenda. Agendanya nanti apa saja? We have an agenda with 3 points. Kita memiliki agenda 3, yaitu 1, 2, 3 kalian sebutkan. And the next is to introduce the first speaker. Bagaimana cara memperkenalkan speakernya? I think Mr. Kano is ready to tell us something about bla bla bla. Kalian juga bisa menggunakan frase yang itu. And to prevent an interruption, bagaimana cara untuk mencegah seorang untuk menginterupsi atau memotong pembicaraan orang lain, kalian bisa menggunakan if you don't mind, can we let Mr. Kano finish? Ya, kalau kalian keberatan bisa kita membiarkan Mr. Kano untuk menyelesaikan apa yang beliau sampaikan. F, to thank a speaker for his or her contribution. Ya, kalian bisa menggunakan thank you for that, thank you for your ideas, thank you for your explanation, etc. And then to introduce another speaker, you may say, now can I ask Miss Perez de Sanchez to tell us her views about blah 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 blah. Nah, kalian juga bisa menggunakan itu. Next, to keep discussion to the relevant issues. Gimana caranya diskusinya supaya tetap relevan dengan masalahnya. Can we try to keep to the topic? I think we have gone away from it a little. Bisakah kita tetap ke topik pembicaraannya? Saya kira ini sudah jauh ya dari topiknya. And then to summarize the discussion. Jadi untuk meringkas hasil diskusinya, kalian bisa ngomong seperti I'd like to sum up the main points. Saya ingin meringkas poin utamanya. And to ask if anyone has anything to add, ya, untuk meminta seseorang apakah mau menambahkan, kalian juga bisa menggunakan would anyone like to say anything else on this? Mungkin ada yang mau menambahkan tentang ini, ya. And the next is about how to suggest moving to the next topic on the agenda. Kalian bisa menggunakan I think we ought to move on to the next topic on the agenda. Saya kira kita harus pindah nih topiknya ya ke agenda yang lain. And the next is how to summarize the certain action that must be done following the meeting. So before the next meeting, I'll send out the report on this one. Mr. Kano will prepare blah blah blah, and we will then fix a new date sometime next month, etc. And the last, you should be able to close the meeting like, thank you, that's everything, that's it for today, thank you very much for coming, blah blah blah. So everyone, those are some phrases maybe useful for you as the chairperson in how to handling the meeting. Okay. Now, everyone, here it is the next important skill, namely about how to establish the purpose of the meeting. Kalian tetap harus bisa menentukan tujuan daripada rapat itu sendiri. Coba kalian nanti simpulkan berdasarkan listening comprehension yang kalian dengarkan. Okay, here it is the incomplete agenda for a meeting of an environmental research unit. Jadi ini masih blank agendanya atau tujuan daripada rapatnya. Silakan kalian dengarkan baik-baik the recording to the start of the meeting, so you will hear the opening remarks from the chair, Victor Allen, and then you make notes of the objective of the meeting by filling the space in the agenda. Kalian prepare, silakan pulpen dan kertasnya. Habis itu dengarkan baik-baik kira-kira agendanya A, B, C itu apa saja. Okay, ready? Okay, here it is.
Listen to the start of a meeting and complete the agenda.
Okay, I think we should begin. Thanks for coming, and as you know, we're here for our ERU quarterly meeting. As you know from the agenda, there are three main issues to discuss. The first is to review the budget for present projects, HydroClear and PCB reduction. Secondly, we'll look at the future outlook for the unit. Finally, we'll examine the money question, funding alternatives. So, any comments, any suggestions, or is everyone happy with that agenda? Okay, then let's start with item 1 on the agenda. I think Professor Camden has prepared a statement on the HydroClear budget, so I'll hand over to him.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, with the HydroClear project, I would like to summarise the crisis on funding. Each year, we have higher costs, and the money coming in to support the project is less. I have produced a report on the main choices and...
Let's compare your answer with the key answer. Okay, so the agenda will be about budget for present project, the future outlook, and the funding alternatives. Okay, here with this, everyone, it is time for us to summarize. Here are some expression or some phrases you are as a chairperson in a meeting should be mastered. The first one is how to open the meeting. You may say, "Thank you for coming. It is 10 o'clock, let's start." Okay, we've received apologies from any comments on a previous meeting, just like that. And then how to introduce the agenda. You may say, you have all seen the agenda. On the agenda, you'll see there are 3 items, blah, blah, blah. There is one main item to discuss, blah, blah, blah. And then stating your objective. We are here today to hear about plans for, ya, kita di sini untuk mendengarkan rencana tentang bla bla bla. Our objective is to discuss different ideas. Tujuan kita adalah untuk mendiskusikan ide yang berbeda tentang bla bla bla. What we want to do today is to reach a decision. Apa yang kita lakukan sekarang adalah untuk mencapai keputusan bla bla bla. What about introducing the discussion? You may say the background to the problem is bla bla bla. Jadi background atau latar belakang dari permasalahan ini adalah bla bla bla. Jadi biasanya sebelum memulai diskusi nanti biasanya akan ada kayak semacam pendahuluan yang membuat meeting ini ada atau meeting ini dilaksanakan. Kalian bisa ngomong seperti itu atau this issue is about, ya, permasalahan ini tentang bla bla bla. The point we have to understand is, poin yang perlu kita pahami adalah bla bla bla. And then calling on a speaker, bagaimana cara untuk memanggil si speaker atau memperkenalkan speaker. Kalian bisa ngomong, I'd like to ask Mary to tell us about, ya, saya ingin memanggil Mary untuk menjelaskan ke kita tentang bla bla bla. Can we hear from Mr. Paz on this? I know that you have prepared a statement on your department's views. And then controlling the meeting, bagaimana cara untuk mengendalikan meeting. Sorry Hans, can we let Magna finish? Nah ini kalau misalkan ada yang menginterupsi, kalian bisa ngomong ini, ya. Henry, we can talk about that. Nah kalian juga bisa menggunakan itu. And summarizing atau meringkas, kalian bisa menggunakan ekspresi. So what you are saying is, jadi yang mencoba kamu untuk katakan adalah bla bla bla, ya kan? Can I summarize that? You mean bla 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 bla. Okay, let's moving the discussion, yaitu bagaimana cara untuk berpindah dari topik satu ke topik yang lain. Can we go on to think about, or let's move on to the next point? And then to close the meeting, you may say, I think we have covered everything. So we have decided blah blah blah. I think we can close the meeting now. That's it. The next meeting will be about blah blah blah. Yeah, so everyone, I think that's all about how to handle the meeting. If you are as the chairperson in a company, you should master this one. If you still have any question related to this skill about how to handle a meeting, you may ask in the forum of Scalza. Thank you very much for watching the video and learning with me. Don't forget to study. That's all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and see you next time.